So dreams to indie gold, stories waiting to be told. Never give up and journey on. Power in play, our hearts are strong. Let the odyssey rise. Let the odyssey rise. Never give up and journey on. Power in play, our hearts are strong. Let the odyssey rise. Let the odyssey rise.
Okay, y'all, is out. This indie world is gonna be massive. I don't think so. I think it's literally gonna be farming sims, frog games,
You may need to turn the volume up, bud.
and fishing. Yo, Rob, I heard from a guy whose uncle works at a Japanese vending machine company that this showcase ends with Miyamoto personally announcing a 2D Metroid collabing with the Stardew Valley crossover. That's not even what? Hello. We are thrilled to showcase some heartfelt, cozy, frog-based adventures from indie partners around the world. Okay, this is warming up. It's gonna end with Silksong. Trust me, it has to. Hello there. I am the developer behind Cozy Cryptic Frog Town. It's a card game battling rhythm roguelike game where you date frogs and unlock their trauma. You see, right here in Reddit, it says that the Indie World Showcase will end with Mario Galaxy 3 as a farming sim. Dude, that's just literally a Photoshop PowerPoint presentation. And that's our show. See you again in another indie world eventually. That's it. Wait, I just found a new leak on Japanese Reddit, which is kind of like the off brand of Reddit. It says here that Miyamoto was seen buying a shovel, which clearly means that Zelda will collab with Animal Crossing in a crossover called Tears of the Frog Kingdom.
Can't wait for crazy cryptid Frog Town. Excited.
all those frog noises. well, we just went through exactly that. And the reason why I did this skit because I went hunting for comments on X and found as many as I could and made them into the skit. They basically, there's the rumor, right? There's a character, there's the rumor guy who spreads rumors like crazy. Half of them happen, half of them don't. Then there's the optimistic guy who mentions Hollow Knight in every single direct. It doesn't matter what direct it is. Every direct, there's a Hollow Knight. Even if it's an Xbox presentation, they want to mention Hollow Knight over there, PlayStation, Hollow Knight over there. Everybody mentions Hollow Knight, right?
Oh yeah.
And then there's a negative, down to earth kind of like guy says that everything is a fake and everything is like, oh no, that's just Photoshop. There's always every single character like that, and we've encountered that just yesterday in yesterday's little 15-minute direct. So welcome to the podcast, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. This is an entire podcast. As if you're wondering, yes, we are missing the queen. The queen is not here today. She is out with family. in the woods, in the wilderness right now. Like Link and Zelda, probably training Epona somewhere. And so shout out to Joycey. She'll be back with us next Friday, and she says she'll pop in any minute. Like, how is she gonna do that from the woods? What Joycey, just concentrate, no bears or anything like that. Just and I'll make sure you're safe. But who is here is the Paul, the Gale, the Countdown Guy Network. What's up, Paul?
Well, what's new this week? I beat Split Fiction yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Despite getting it at launch,
Mhm.
I mean, I played that thing consistently, and then Donkey Kong Bonanza came around, and like, woo, that took over my life for those 2 weeks. But I wanted to finish Split Fiction because I had a feeling I must be in the last chapter, and I kind of was, but then there's one last section, and it was just fantastic. I mean, what a wonderful game. I'll probably put up a mini review or collective thoughts on X later today.
Yeah.
Same way I did Donkey Kong Bonanza a week and a half ago when I beat it. And I don't know exactly what score I give because it's very close to a 10.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I just loved it so much. A couple of technical aspects is where I would say, well, you have a couple of imperfections on some glitches that not intentional glitch in the game, but just getting stuck in an area and not being able to get out and having to pause and go back to the latest checkpoint. But that hardly ruins the experience, just from a technical perspective, a little bit off. But from the voice acting to the music to the storytelling, the characters, the gameplay variety, the graphics, the music, like such a smooth, awesome experience. I loved it. So it's close to a 10 in my book, and is definitely still, even after Bonanza, one of the best games of the year. But I think right now Bonanza is my front runner. But that was it until Bonanza, and so it's still like those top two for me. And what else is new? I saw Jurassic World today, the newest one.
Nice,
it was pretty fun overall. And yesterday is the 1-year anniversary of the Legend of Zelda pool being completed. So my pool has now been out for 1 year.
What? Happy birthday to you.
Kind of a fun thing for me because I'm like, oh man, that's a year goes by fast.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Paul. And we also have here at the bottom right here the Mario Kart master himself and 64 Josh. How you doing, Josh?
So good.
I didn't make
So
you
good. Yeah, I have not had a lot of time with Mario Kart this week because I've been playing so much other stuff, including Madden, which I'm really enjoying. But that doesn't seem to be the case for everybody. So
I got it. I don't want to cut you off, but I definitely would love to hear you talk on it for a few minutes. And what are your impressions? Because like you said, I've heard both this and that, but you get the opportunity to hear from the most now.
Yeah. So we can maybe hit it after the intros or whatever. I'll get into it. I'm enjoying it. But playing tried that Mina, the Hollower, which was fantastic. Put it in 120 if if you've got either on handheld or on your monitor, and that game is smooth. So smooth. I have been all over the place. We've been doing A Link to the Past, playing that for our NSO game of the week, which has just been so fun. Nice. Getting back into that. Haven't played it in years, so going back to it has been great. A little bit of Metroid Prime Remastered, trying to get a little further in that. I've been playing Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which is just super stellar. Tried the Shinobi demo as well, also great. And so it's just been a fantastic week of gaming. I've actually been doing Link to the Past mostly on my Switch Lite before I go to bed. Like I just have it up by my bed there and play for 10, 15, 20 minutes and then pass out. So
that's nice.
Yeah. Yesterday was crazy though, talking Madden. So it was literally the most subs and views I think I've had on YouTube in a very long time, all because of this game. So it was very interesting. Yeah,
pretty cool. So Madden on Nintendo Switch 2. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead right into it. Let's go ahead. Let me hear your thoughts on Madden because I'm actually interested. I signed up for EA. I signed up for EA the partner program. I'm waiting for my code. So
Oh, nice.
yeah. So let me know what are your initial thoughts on Madden?
Okay, so I am a longtime Madden fan, going all the way back to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Would have always loved to play handheld Madden. So whether that be GBA or the 3DS, even, like I've always enjoyed it. So that that already, like, I'm pretty much sold, right?
Yeah.
So I fire the game up. I do notice immediately that some of the menus look a little janky, like straight up janky.
Yeah.
Like there's like all this like tearing and stuff, and you're like, okay, that's kind of interesting, like
Mhm.
doesn't look crisp.
Mm.
Get onto the field, players look a little soft, like it's not as crisp, but it's not terrible by any means.
A beauty like a beauty filter.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like a little bit, just a little soft, right?
Yeah.
Not horrible though. Like none of this is of this is that bad. So jump in, start playing. I'm sharing screen with Nady Nays in the chat, and we're both like, yo, this is pretty impressive,
Mhm.
While you're on the field playing, every play, I have not experienced any kind of dip whatsoever in the
Okay.
frames. It has been smooth. I've jumped between Madden 25 on my Series X
Mhm.
and the Switch 2 just to, because I felt like I was getting gaslit yesterday. There were literally people saying, "You're a liar, the game is terrible." And I'm like, I don't like, I put up gameplay to let people go watch, the comments were, "I haven't seen video this good on this game." Well, I can tell you the way I record gameplay, 15 minutes is about 42 gigs
Ooh.
because I want to make sure that the games look how I'm seeing them, right?
Yeah,
So it eats it up quick. So I then fired up a live stream yesterday, and it's just question after question because they saw tweets from other creators saying it was unplayable, it's super jarring. What happens is from my understanding, don't take it as gospel because I don't have like the tech to tell you exactly how many frames, right?
Yeah.
The word on the street is that it's around 40 to 45 while you're in game, like while you're doing your plays, and then it drops to 30 and even dips a little bit under when you hit, like, as soon as the ball is out of play and they're going into like the cutscenes and like that kind of stuff. That's where there's some dips. It did not bother. I played online against one of my mods, and I played online against Johnny Bo. We had a great time. We're laughing. Like, there's if you're a hardcore player, like Madden player,
Mhm.
and you just want to practice on the go, this is going to be a great option for you. And then you're going to go and you're going to play on your PS5 or your Series X or whatever. The
Mhm.
PC version apparently has issues as well. It's very much still a Madden game and just has Madden quirks. Like, I tried to throw a lob pass and I literally he could have thrown it out of the stadium. I was like, what is going on here? But I've seen that same kind of stuff happen on the Series X. It's not like it's exclusive to the Switch too. So
Mm.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it. If you're, like I said, if you are a Madden diehard and you need every frame and every pixel, don't get it on the Switch. Right? Oh, so Baser in my chat said, tell him about the field goals. Yeah. So I literally just went and learned how to, the field goals are a little bit different. And so I missed every single one while I was streaming, and everybody was just roasting me for it. Like, I'm not talking like kind of missed. I'm talking like the ball barely like left the field all the way to the left or all the way to the right. So, but that's just because of a new kicking mechanic that I just needed to learn. So
Mhm.
I'm enjoying it. I don't know what else to say. Like, I saw another big channel talk about how it's disappointing. I I have nothing to gain from saying this kind of stuff. My gut feeling is the clicks come from being negative, and I don't feel like I'm being disingenuine. I've let people watch me play. I've seen people watch the gameplay and they're like, "Oh, it's not that bad." And I'm like, "It really isn't," you know? So,
As you
they
were talking, as you were talking, I just got my code. It
nice.
came in
That's awesome.
the email, so I'm downloading it. I'm gonna see. I'll probably live stream it too. We can play against each other. I don't know. Guess what? This will be my first Madden because I did play Madden, but the older version of and when it was back in Nintendo, where you
Uh,
you know you because when you mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, that's when I left off Madden.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get back into it like so long, but I'm pretty sure that the game has changed a lot since then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there was a time where I was like playing like semi competitively and
Mhm.
like really starting to dive into like understanding the defense better and being able to like spot the plays that were coming and like it. But that was like probably 7 8 years ago, so you
Yeah,
get that far removed from stuff and it's like jumping back into an RPG and you're like, where was I, so
yeah.
uh I I am of the mind that this generation of gaming and gamers, there are some people out there that like if it's not 60 locked
Mhm.
and things stutter, it's jarring for them.
Mm.
Like, so I don't think anybody should be. I'm not out here saying anybody is like a liar.
Yeah,
I do think that there are definite, like when there's clicks at stake, it's a lot easier to go negative than it is to go positive,
of
you
course.
know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I play. You guys heard the games I played. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound 30 FPS, Mina
Mm.
120, right? Like I can jump between those and I have no issues. If you're talking about Call of Duty, I played Fortnite today. I put it on one. I made sure it was on 120.
Mhm.
Like I'm gonna get the most out of my shooters and that kind of stuff. I'm gonna get the most frames out of anything I can. I will go frames before resolution because I just want to see the game run as smooth as possible.
Of
But I could
course. Yeah.
jump between Madden on the Series X and on the Switch
Mhm.
and not have an issue. But I don't know that that is the same for everybody. So it's like I'm doing my best just to help people make an informed purchase because especially if
Mhm.
you're gonna buy it early, it's $100.
Yeah,
I got nothing to gain from this. Like I'm I'm not an industry plant like Johnny Bo. So um I I'm
Shake.
I'm just a dude that's having a good time. And just trying to let people know, like, look, if you are like hardcore competitive, there's not even crossplay on the Switch. And I think it has to do with the frames not being quite the same as the Series X and the PS5 and the PC. So
Interesting.
uh if if that's a huge deal for you, don't do it. If you're not that bothered, y- y- you're not going to have a bad time. Like, and I have one guy that comes to every one of my videos and says it's unplayable. So that's all he types.
Hey,
Unplayable.
he's giving you that precious, what do you call that?
Engagement. Yeah.
Engagement. Yeah, yeah. So
I wonder if
yeah.
it's like for me, I've talked to people who didn't grow up with the Street Fighter Alpha 2,
Mhm.
the Super NES version of Street Fighter Alpha 2 that
Yeah.
play it now after playing like a perfect version of the arcade game or something like that. Like, how did you ever do this? Like, I love that version to heck. That version had charm. That
Mhm.
version, if anything, made me appreciate it and was that much more impressed with like, wow, this is a very modern fighting game on hardware that's 6 years old at this point, and
Yeah.
it's coming out on next gen systems. Loved it, no problems. So I guess if you're a little bit more sensitive to frame rate or drops or have a greater sensitivity to that kind of thing, then like, yeah, maybe that kind of thing bothers you. But like what you were saying was, you're bouncing between this version and that version and or this type of game and that type of game and no qualms about it. Like, I'm on that side. I
We
remember
we
playing.
played GoldenEye with
Yeah,
rockets and proximity mines in the
dude,
temple. We know what it's like to lose frames, like to
Yeah.
play a PowerPoint presentation.
the
So
way the way the way I tell people is like, is Terminator 2 a good movie? Most people say yeah.
oh yeah.
Uh, Can you enjoy it on VHS? Mm-hmm. DVD? Yeah. Does the Blu-ray version make the DVD version bad? No, the Blu-ray version is just more clear. How about in 4K? Does it make the Blu-ray version bad? No, just the 4K version is more clear. It's just the same movie. So when you have something like Split Fiction, and if you have something like Madden, and if it running a little bit better or a little bit higher fidelity, if the core game is good, if it's solid, it's got the music and the voice acting and the story, and it's just not a broken mess, but it plays well and it's fun at the end of the day. Like, I think that's the majority of gamer. So I think the majority of people are probably gonna. I hope. I mean, I haven't picked up the new Madden yet myself.
Yeah.
But I would imagine that most people who go to GameStop pick it up. Oh, is download only? It's not even a game key card, is it? Or is it,
It
game
is.
key card?
Game
It
key
is?
card.
So they pick it up and they're like, oh, okay, well, whatever. I guess I got to download it. That's just the modern era. And they're not complaining about that aspect because it's a whole other thing. They're like, "Man, this is cool, man. Oh, wow. I can play it on the go, like portable. Like, wow. That's going to be most. Anyways.
Well,
thanks
and that
for
was the
sharing
other
that.
big question is everybody's like, well, I heard you can't play it, not if you're not connected to the internet.
Internet?
Also not true. It
Mhm.
will tell you, it will not, you cannot like gain progression on like your NFL pass or season pass or whatever they have, or do the ultimate team, but you can still play your franchise. You can still play quick play and play games on the go. So it's not, you don't have to have online for that. So
Also, do you do this? Because I do, and I just wonder, is this something because I have something unique about my phone, but hotspot. I put on my hotspot if I'm going with the kids in a car ride, and like
For
my
sure.
kids both connected the hotspot on my iPhone.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that exists beyond just me. And they're zooming on Fortnite on the internet or playing Mario Kart World with something else. I was like, dude, your Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch is a completely internet connected portable device. And then most adults have some type of smartphone with a hotspot. So they just
Right.
connect your Switch to there. Boom, there you go. Online, anywhere you go.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Is
right.
that
I
not a
mean,
thing?
we do that a lot online when my daughter needs to confirm a game or whatever she's playing online. She'll just connect to the hotspot, and there's no big deal there, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Hmm.
guys, we are for the first time tonight or today over in the Pacific tonight here at the Eastern side. We are streaming on the new podcast channel today. Also, I didn't want to completely announce it yet, just because it's the first stream. Want to make sure it goes well. I'm gonna go check it after the stream, make sure everything it started well and everything. Once I confirmed it's fully good, then I'll start letting you guys, hey, go subscribe. Well, you can go subscribe right now to the new podcast channel. Just because I've heard this recommendation from a couple of people. First I spoke to a YouTube rep who told me to take a week to 2 weeks off from YouTube, let the system kind of clear out from my channel, so that all the bad stuff that people they already did what they could on the back end to try to and clear out, so that apparently my channel is no longer shadow banned, but it's erased of what it is. So I have no identity to the algorithm. Although there's content there, it's going to take a while for the algorithm to know what my channel is about. So I'm starting again. I can say I'm starting again from zero. Like, I have to train the algorithm again to what content I like to provide. And so in the meantime, I am going to take a break from the channel. I'm not sure if it's going to be a full month, but the podcast is going to be live on the podcast channel. So the podcast is going to continue. So if you are within that month, if you are an In Topics faithful, you love In Topics Friday every Friday, make sure to check out the podcast channel for every Friday the live stream. I already got a couple of people saying they subscribe. Everything is good there. If you guys are out there, you want to go check out the stream on that side, let me know how it's all looking and going over there. And make sure that you subscribe on the YouTube side. If you are watching on X, you're good to go. Twitch, good to go. Facebook, good to go. It's only on YouTube. Only on YouTube that we're going over to that podcast and start live streaming there while the channel kind of resets itself. And I can get back to making my content Guys, it has been a crazy difficult road the past couple of months, but you guys know that there's no point in me saying never give up and journey on after every video if I don't live by it, right? If I'm not given the opportunity to demonstrate that motto, then what's the point of saying it every day, right? Life throws things at you, and it gives you the opportunity to not give up, right? You can say, don't give up, never give up. But if you don't practice it yourself, or if when life throws something at you, you're quickly giving up, then what's the point, right? And so right now, I'm in there, right? Right now, for the first time in the channel, there's 0 subscribers. There's minus. There's a little red number with the minus next to it. I'm like, what the heck is that? Right? We made it to 44,000. No, wait, we're back at 43. 44,000 again. Oh, wait, we're back at actually we lost 30 subscribers. How does that happen? You know, so it's like it's all over the place. I'm not even worried about that. I know that things will work out good in the end, but podcast channel is live, ready. You guys can check out our little cartoons on the header. You can see cartoon Josh there. You can see cartoon Paul and cartoon Joycey. Well, I'm gonna try to animate it to make our intro into an animated cartoon intro, like The Simpsons, where we all get in the car and something like that. You know, it'll be fun. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, guys. Please go ahead and subscribe to the podcast channel so that you don't miss any podcast on Friday. It'll be like a temporary thing while the channel kind of resets itself, and then we'll go ahead and restart everything back on the channel once that happens. I'm not doing it just yet. I'll let you know when I'm going to stop, because I still have a few commitment videos from products that I was sent that I want to release before that month begins. Once I finish with these commitment videos and stuff like that, I'll keep releasing a video or two, and then I'll let you go, guys. This is my last video here. Make sure I'll let you know when it will be the last video for that month break that I'm going to take for the channel. And so yeah, go ahead and subscribe over there. All right, so Nintendo Indie World Showcase. If you guys living under a rock, we just had one yesterday. We had a 15-minute one, which I thought was too short, right? Felt like very short for an Indie World. And I think it's one of the shortest Indie Worlds we've had. It was like the same length as the Donkey Kong Direct we had, right? And not only that, but they felt like it felt like they rushed it, right? They had a couple games in there, and that collage they could have paid more attention to and just kind of show the full trailer and talk about it more. But then they gave us a collage about 4, 5, 6 games back to back, and rush it through. And so we're going to be talking about that today during the podcast. We're going to go ahead over that today. And then our next topic, of course, is going to be Nintendo Direct Madness. What's happening? It's very kind of obvious that we are in a different time. It's not the same Nintendo, right? It's a new console. New things are happening every day, and they're not as predictable as they once were. You can't say, oh, every February, every June, every this. No, Nintendo is the one who dictates this time around, and at least in their first year, while they get settled in, when they're going to be releasing their directs moving forward.
But they warned us about this, right? I mean, they say like a year or two ago that like things aren't going to be the same when it comes to directs.
They did, and they actually gave us a little bit of more headspace with that Indie World announcement, right? Normally it's like next day, so we had 2 days to wait for the Indie World Showcase. So that was different too. Sure. So quick summary here: Nintendo hosted a first Indie Direct World Showcase of the year. It was not 20 minutes; it was 15 minutes. And we didn't get no. Of course, you guys saw the skit. If you guys didn't see the skit, look at it at the channel. No Hollow Knight song. No Hades 2. It's a stable right now. People don't talk about Hollow Knight during any type of direct. Then it's not even it's not normal. All right, so we did get a couple of cool games announced for that direct. Let's see here. There's this one that called attention. You guys saw the UFO 50 one?
Yes.
It's it's actually very good. There's a lot of little mini games and like retro games in there. And I saw RGT talk about it the other day. I'm like, I want to check that out, and that's actually very, very good. We also got the Well Dweller. Let's see here. We got one called Ball X Pit. I think that one is available now, right?
That I'm not sure if I know UFO 50 is.
Okay.
And the Pick Your Seat was also available
Okay.
yesterday. And then the demo for Mina.
Mina, yeah, Mina the Hollower, right? All right, so we got Mina the Hollower. We got let's see here. Should have made the list instead of just no Hollow Knight, guys. Don't ask for Hollow Knight. It's not coming. It's never coming. That game is a myth now. Let's see here. I think I had all the games here. Got Mina the Hollower. Then was Well Dweller. Was this like a Metrovania kind of game? Hurdling. Hurdling, one of the games that caught my attention to, is like it was a beautiful game. It's about you gathering a herd of animals and just going somewhere. It didn't really say much. Ball X Pit. The other one was, let's see here. We got an update for Little Kitty Big City in there. A whole bunch of games for 2026. There's another one that I think it was out also yesterday. It was about this cozy game here. Forgot the name of it.
Was it the bookshelf one?
Was it the bookshelf one? No, it was the is this seat empty? It's called
Yeah.
Seat empty. Yeah, and it was a very cool game. Let me go ahead and pull the indie showcase here. That way we can just kind of look at it while we talk about it. But yeah, it's called Is This Seat Empty? I thought that was a very clever game just because it involves different settings like movie theater, a bus, a car, the park, right? And so it's about people who are like maybe have some kind of social anxiety that can't blend together, and you take them and you pair them together, to make them, or they'll either get upset or they'll get happy. But I thought it was just hilarious. I wanted to get that game right away. And so that was one. Oh, wait, hold up, take it. Let me
Neverway is another one that I think we should mention. That was the artist from Celeste.
Yeah, Neverway. Yep. Let me go ahead and share my screen here really quick. Indie World. But yeah, Indie World. The Shovel Knight. From the creators of Shovel Knight. This one also looked very, very cool. Can you guys see what I'm seeing?
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, let me try to get the
go download Mina the Hollower demo, guys. Mike, you also got that super chat from Goto10 that says just because on screen still too.
Just because. I just left it there. Just because.
Just because.
Right.
I was waiting for that because so you can set it up. Just because. I'm leaving it there just because.
There were 18 games showed off yesterday, right?
Yeah, there was quite a few games.
Solid amount.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought they would end it on
Hollow Knight.
One final game instead of like that six little compilation package, but
yeah,
it's a little bit of a different approach.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what games do you guys think? What games stood out to you guys right now? I'm gonna be just kind of scrolling through the okay. So we actually we have all the games here. Mina the Hollower, Well Dweller. The other one's called Neverway. Then the Hurdling. Is that seat taken? So let me go ahead and okay, so this one is called Well Dweller. Okay, and for those of you who are looking for a Hollow Knight type of game, I mean, look at how beautiful this game looks. Right? It has the art style from Hollow Knight. Right? It has the art style. The mechanics look great. The game looks beautiful. It looks super fun. Look at the enemies, man. Look at the boss battle, And so for those of you waiting for Hollow Knight, look, give this game a chance. that's what I was saying yesterday. Like when you go into an indie direct, you have to go with an open mind. We get attached to certain games, and we forget to, give other games a try. And so this one's called Neverway. This is the one that that is made by what's her name? What's that other game you mentioned?
The artist that did Celeste
Celeste, yeah.
that did the pixel work for this one also.
Yeah, it reminded me of Celeste. Like her actually face, her face looks like Celeste.
Right. Yeah. Madeline, I believe, is the character's name in Celeste.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Neverway. This is the hurdling. So you start hurdling. It's a herd basically. I don't know what the story is. I'm pretty sure it could be very interesting. You just kind of gather animals, and you.
This is Star Wars, right? You're a sand person with the banthas, isn't that?
Yeah, it looks like you're. It looked like it looked to me a little bit like the Last of Us in certain areas. And then we have here. This is the one I'm talking about. Is This Tea Taken, right? It's a really cool, fun game. I feel like this is the type of game where you have nothing to play. You just want to sit back and relax. You grab, you look at this guy's like dancing, and then you put them together. They start, see, he approves. You know what I mean? So you have to find like the right combination. Like when look what he did here. Before that, you see how he got upset when you set him down somewhere.
404 PC not found.
Yeah. So it's fun. Look at this. It's a movie theater. Look at this guy. He was crying. You have to find like the right place to put them. He's upset. And yeah, so it's a really fun game. Then we have, of course, an update on this Cat in the City, Little Cat in the City, inspired by the other cat game.
I have this on Nintendo Switch. Like we've played it a good amount in our house over the last few years. It was a fun little game.
Yeah.
So I think it's neat that they're having an update.
Yeah, and of course it's coming up to Nintendo Switch too, like a Switch 2 version, right?
They didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, they just said getting an update.
That's it.
At an unspecified time in the year.
All right. Yeah, there's no Twitch 2 logo on that one, so I guess it's just Switch, but still compatible. Then we have this one here. What's the name of it? Let me get it.
Content warning.
Content warning. Yeah. This one is cool too, because here you're like YouTubers, but your field is spooky, right? So you have to make spooky videos, and then check to see how many people subscribe to your channel, and see you're a content creator, and you make spooky videos, and you have to upload them to SpookTube.
Yeah, SpookTube. Yep.
Yeah, and you get comments and stuff like that, so it's super fun. I mean, it's funny, right? And I think if you want to watch gameplay, I think I heard that Eona, I forgot, I don't know how to say her name. Eona. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name, man. But she has I think she has an early copy. You definitely want to check it out of that game. She was playing it. This one here is Ball X Pit, which also looks very cool. We got the Ultimate Sleep Raccoon.
The ultimate sheep raccoon, right? Yeah.
That's his sleep.
This looks really fun, honestly. Like a really fun game for stream, and it's got cross-platform, like they just showed. Like it looks like a solid title.
Yeah, it's up to 8 players, which is crazy. So I like the chaos of it. It's really cool, really cool. This one is called, I think it's Glaciered.
Glaciered, yeah. It's kind of some Ocarina of Time vibes.
It's a JRPG that takes place underwater in an Earth that has been like a future Earth that we apparently destroyed, and now everything's underwater, and so they have evolved and become fish, and so the entire game is underwater. So you're just floating around and fighting things and then leveling up. It's a JRPG but underwater, which is really cool. Cool concept, After that one, they did do the little montage of games. and after the montage of games, that they ended. And Paul's right. It was kind of odd that they didn't end it in just one game, right? Like a final game. They ended it in the montage. Pretty weird. So I they should have ended it in one of the titles that they showed. Maybe even the first one, like the Mina and the Hollower was a good one to end in, or even Well Dweller, right? Any of these games could have been a good closer for the showcase, but it was only 15 minutes. 15 minutes. So yeah. What are your thoughts?
I'll let Paul kick it off.
I thought it was an overall good presentation, and I think it's a sign of a third thing to come. Like that was the initial impression based off of the partner showcase was get some of the games that aren't Final Fantasy VII Remake, that aren't Elden Ring, that aren't some of the juggernaut titles, to give third parties their share. And then this, Indie World presentation, give highlight to 12.5 games. Oh, that last one, that was another one that I liked. It was kind of like the Space Invaders vibe that was going forward. What was that one called?
Ball Pit.
Ball Pit. Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
There were a good few games there, and what I like the most of it, my favorite part of it probably is that 2026 titles.
Yeah.
And you might think, well, wouldn't you like something that's coming out now more? I mean, yes, but in reality, I'm not going to be able to get all the games. So I like seeing some future proof because that builds faith for the 154 million people that can't get a Nintendo Switch 2 instantly, that they still have games viable on their platform, that their platform is still just as good as anything else out there because this older device that you have is still relevant in the year 2026, the year to come. You don't have to jump into next gen yet. You're fine. You're still going to have new stuff. So I think that's important for the more grand consumer out there beyond the hardcore 7 million of us that have picked up a Switch 2 right away, Yeah, it was good. I think that, I don't know if the Campfire game would have been like a big enough of a closer.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't because maybe they just didn't feel like any one particular game in this show was a big enough closer. So instead, just give kind of equal attention to everything, have a little compilation, boom. But, the Campfire game from the last one, perhaps they put it in the partner showcase they did because they needed something a little bit quirky, different that utilized the camera. And maybe it wasn't big enough to close off this one, but the fact that it utilized the camera, you could argue would be, but I think it was fine. It's, you don't have to end every presentation the same way or have the same exact formula. Hey, sometimes Nintendo might want to just experiment. You could get a little bit complacent when you're so high and just stick to the basic regimen you're used to, or once you're so high up there, you could use that security to experiment more because, there's less to risk.
Yeah.
Right? If you're making 20 million selling games left and right with Mario Odyssey and Zelda and this and this and this, you have some money to spare that you're like, you know what? We could put some budget into this smaller game that's probably only going to bust out a couple of million units. And it's fine if it doesn't deliver. Not that we want to lose money, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be a grand hit. So I think that mentality is also in these presentations of like, you know what? We don't have to have a giant opener and closer every time or have a mega 52-minute presentation. We could divide them up. We could change up the format. We could change up how we open and close, etc., and see how it goes. So to me, this is a little bit of a not a complacent Nintendo, but a willing to do a little bit of a different presentation and see how it works, see how it's received, see what the feedback is like from these smaller independent developers that got, 43 seconds on average attention each in this little presentation, a week following another one, and a couple of weeks potentially before, main Nintendo Direct. So a lot of little things and rationale behind it. But overall, I like the show. I will probably pick up a game or two. I'll definitely do the update for Little Kitty Big City. Yeah, good stuff. I am excited though because there's nothing quite like a Nintendo Direct, and
Sure.
I think we get either a Nintendo Direct within a couple of weeks, followed by a Super Mario Brothers 40th anniversary Nintendo Direct in the middle of September, or we don't see anything until early September, and then they just have a massive Nintendo Direct in which a good portion of it is a designated Mario section.
I can see that. I can
Yeah.
see that.
Anyway, kind of extended thoughts, but yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I thought the show was fine. Like, it was definitely a show. There's probably something for everybody.
Mhm.
Not any like real big standout titles that I think that what I always love to see from an indie direct is to have that one real special game that like really has just a ton of buzz and
Mhm.
everybody's kind of talking about it and they're excited to play it, and like we've seen that with like Vampire Survivors, Balatro, Celeste, even the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. That was like everybody was buzzing about that, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
that's what my hope for those for every time we have an indie direct is that there's going to be something, what was it, Golf Story? That was another one that just kind of, and sometimes it's late, like these kind of games take off after they launch and then everybody's talking about it and streaming it. And it's, it's fantastic. I was stoked right off the bat as soon as Mina from Yacht Club was shown. I'm like, oh, I'm like, this is great. And then getting to download the demo and play the game. It's like playing a Game Boy NES game. Like they give themselves certain restraints when they create their games, and it feels like you're stepping back in time. It feels like retro gaming on a brand new game, and I love that aspect. I love Shovel Knight. It's always reminded me of everybody always references Link's Adventure, but I kind of go with DuckTales. I played a lot more DuckTales than I did Zelda 2. So just a lot of charm there when it comes to Yacht Club stuff. So Ball Pit did look great. Like I'm not a huge roguelike player typically, but that just that style of game where like all those balls were taken out to kind of like an alleyway style game. Like I love that kind of stuff. So I'll definitely give that one a try. UFO 50, I knew nothing about. And I think had that been like a brand new game, I think it would have been a lot more buzz knowing that it's so well loved. Like basically I was seeing different tweets or different messages in Discord saying like, yo, this is a big get. Like this is a good one. Like, so definitely worth checking that one out. And yeah, like I don't care for the style of that Well Dweller, the art style. It's almost like Flash kind of looking art style to me. It's not. I'm not a huge fan. That game looked super smooth. Like it looked incredibly smooth, and almost to the and it very much had like a Tim Burton vibe, which I'm not like a huge fan of, but like I appreciate what they are doing. You know what I mean? Like so. And then Neverway also looked super cool. And that could be the one that when it launches that everybody has to play because it's got that like Stardew kind of meets the Legend of Zelda, like Link to the Past kind of thing.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
Content warning, I mean that was like the flavor of the week for streamers a little while ago, so
Yeah.
that could be something that that picks up some momentum as well. And so it's good to see that like even in this showcase we get to see like Mina running at 120 like I've mentioned. It's literally optimized for Switch 2.
Yeah.
That was great to see that something like that was already happening, and that's coming out October 31st. So not too far away either. And so yeah, just it was it was basically kind of it was what I was expecting.
Yeah.
It seemed like a really busy day with games, with that coming out and Madden launching, and it was a very, very busy day, that's for sure. And I think overall there was probably just something for everybody. And yeah, like I'm already feeling like indies are doing very well as far as like with known IP. Ninja Gaiden, Shinobi, these are very indie style games with very much known IP, and I'm having I'm having a blast. So good
Yeah.
good stuff from indies so far.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, man. I think because I shared on X. I said I think it was a great direct, a great indie direct, and I got comments like, what were you watching or whatever like that, right? You know, those types of comments people leave. And I'm like, I was watching the same direct that everybody was watching. I just loved it. I loved every single game that came up in the direct, the indie showcase. I loved. And I think it's because having come off what I believe is the biggest indie mania we did, right, with so many developers, and I think this year around I communicated with more developers than I've ever had in my life, like behind the scenes, and just talking to them, having conversations, and learning about their process, and learning about how, you know, I heard the word indie world a lot, and rejection a lot. Those together, indie world, Nintendo indie world, rejection, those two went together a lot, right? And it takes so much for one of these games to make it to one of these indie worlds, right? Or even a Summer Game Fest or any other, you know, sometimes some of these developers can't afford it. So when I went into this indie world, I went with that in mind. I'm like, man, you just have to give it up for these developers and their hard work, and they put their all into these games, and each and every one of them looked amazing. My only pet peeve was 15 minutes. You know, when we give 15 minutes to one game, Donkey Kong, 25 minutes would have been fine. You know, 25 minutes would have been a good time for a mini. You can't tell me there are not enough indie games out there to fill in, because there are enough indie games out there to fill in, especially on Nintendo Switch. And so the only thing I had was that the timing of it, the spacing of it. I think it was a little rushed, and I think they would have some of the games in there could have enjoyed a little more time. I realize this guy has an orange on his head. I just saw that right now. I'm like, what is? And shout out to Cryptic for the $4.99. I had to step in here and call out Josh. he hasn't bringing truthful on what he has been playing. Josh, why don't you tell? Go ahead,
Okay.
Josh. Go ahead, Josh.
So starting last weekend, I do these streams that help me fund like trips to like PAX West. That's the one coming up, right?
Yep.
And chat gets to buy time slots for whatever games I have to play. Well, Cryptic and Nady Nay, they played a part in this. Nady Nay set up, so I have N64 Josh, my account on Switch. He set up N64 Troll, and he downloads these games that are not as one of them's called Panty Party, okay? And you literally play as panties that shoot laser beams. And that's literally it. That's what you do. And so there you go. Gun Pixie is another one that they made me play. That was like, it's if I had the ability to be embarrassed, I would be embarrassed playing these games. It is insanity. But everybody gets a good laugh, and they're all amazing. Just for all the love. So, yeah. So Nate said nobody listened to the "I did it because" nonsense. Here we go. So, yeah. So, don't go watch that VOD or anything like that, because it's a little questionable.
Now we have to watch it. 100% recommended. You gotta go check out Josh's stream so you can watch him play all those games. It's probably something to watch. Entertaining. All right, so thank you so much for that. Those additions to the podcast, we appreciate it. Yeah, and I didn't realize this guy had an orange on his head. Well, the entire time yesterday, I'm like, this guy is stiff, and he had an orange on his head. He's trying to balance an orange on his head the entire time he was talking. But one thing I wanted to share really quick here is a comment yesterday. Yes, it was it yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Man, it feels crazy. Like I feel like the indie world wasn't yesterday. It was like days ago. That's how I feel. Crazy. But there was a there was a comment that I actually enjoyed because these are the type of comments that spark conversation and kind of set things.
Mike, we can see your password, buddy.
We can. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not my
Oh, it's
password.
just a verification. Okay, good. Just
Yeah.
making sure. Just making sure. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, that's not my password.
All right. Just don't want you getting. Don't want more. Any more internet issues for you.
Yeah, that's not my password. I'm not gonna share my password. And that code is expired already. By the way.
awesome.
But yeah, I'm just sharing here my account real quick. This comment here, and I will shout out who made the question because it was okay. Fangirl, Nintendo Fangirl. She was the one who made this question, and I think a lot of people don't make that question, right? To know, to know exactly what indie is. And so she asked, low-key, the thing I don't like about indie world directs is that I think indie games are poorly defined. What size publisher is small enough to qualify as indie? Do games with massive cult followings count, or are we only showcasing games that wouldn't otherwise be sent? This is a great question. I'll be seen, right? And so that gave me the opportunity to kind of clarify what indie games really are, because not everybody knows, right? And I said, I can tell you after running Indie Made for 2 years and speaking with developers from all walks of life and sizes, an indie game studio is defined by its independence. It's not its size, right? It's a team that self-funds, retains creative control, and operates without reliance on major publishers or external investors. While often small, indie studios can range from solo developers to large teams, as long as they prioritize creative freedom and self-direction. Examples include Supergiant Games and Concord Ape. I copied and pasted that name because I can spell it. Who maintain indie status despite their success, right? And so that's the common kind of notion that people have with indies, that you have to be a small developer to be an indie, or not successful, and so indies are not defined by their size. They're defined by their creativity and their freedom to develop, right? They're not governed by anyone. One big example I could put is Way Forward, right? Way Forward is one of our amazing developer teams at Indie Mania, right? And Paul has great conversations. You guys can check him out the Indie Mania website, YouTube channel. Really good interviews. They talk about a lot about the work they do, the process, and so those are the perfect example interviews with developers, so you guys can kind of take a look, a deeper look into their work. Yeah, they work with sometimes they work with IPs that we all know, and so that's why I get more excited now about indie games than I did before, because I know that when we look at an indie showcase, the right way to go into an indie showcase is with an open mind and a spirit for discovery. Find something new. That is your goal in an indie showcase. Find something you've never seen before, right? Maybe find that next favorite game, like I did with the Is This Sea Taking? I'm like, man, I love that game. It just looks so fun. My daughters already love it. Is This Sea Taking, right? And so find that next game. Don't go in there finding something. Oh my God, we're Hollow Knight. Where's Hollow Knight? Hollow Knight. I'm like, no. I mean, I knew from the fact Hollow Knight wasn't going to be in indie world. And Hollow Knight is now reserved because they're still indie. They're still a team of they're a team of 3. They just added another person, or they exchanged one person in the team, but they're still the team of 3. and they're still a small team. They haven't changed, but I mean, I guess their heads have, but they're still there, right? And so you're not gonna find them in an indie world. You're gonna find them in a Nintendo Direct. You're gonna find them in an Xbox showcase. You're gonna find them in maybe a PlayStation State of Play, right? That's what they call State of Play, right? And so some indies graduate to other presentations just because they get offered spots in those presentations once their game kind of hits the mainstream and becomes successful. It doesn't take away from their indie status. You know what I mean? They still hold they still hold creative control over their games, and they owe nobody anything. You know what I mean? And so it's always good to go into indie directs with that open mind and try to find something new. Last year, right? Paul reached out to me when we were putting together Indie Mania last year for the first time. Hey, we have this developer here who has this really cool game. Right, it turned out to be Ruffy in the Riverside, right? And look at Ruffy in the Riverside where it is now.
Excellent.
When we showcased it, that game was completely unknown. It was just out there. That game has blown up like crazy, even more this year, just because more people have been picking it up, and now everybody has been talking about it like crazy, right? Ruffy in the Riverside is a really good game, still indie game. You know what I mean? And that game has a potential future. I think that game is just starting, and it's gonna become an iconic game. People will say, "Hey, that's from my childhood. I remember Ruffy." You know, I know that character is gonna become that type of game, right? Like Banjo is for a lot of us. You know, so guys, go into indie worlds, go into indie showcases, try to find as many as you can. Support any showcase you find out there for indie games. Go there. You might find something you love and you like. You know. First party is great, is awesome. You know, they're gonna follow the same recipe you're used to. But if you're looking for something new, maybe go into indie worlds. You know, go into indie showcases and find something new there. And that's I'll leave it there. Anybody want to add something on indie games?
Yeah, they're fantastic. I mean, they fill that void. You know, when you're waiting for your next big Nintendo first party or that next third party that you're. You know, fill that void with some fun indies.
You might see Mario Galaxy 3 in a sim.
There we go.
Yeah. Paul, you want to add something?
Yeah, no, just look forward and keep your eyes open to everything out there. I mean, even within like, if you were ever surprised by some familiar territory that was unexpected, but like familiar enough, like within the company's wheelhouse. Like, let's say you called yourself a Nintendo fan and you enjoyed Mario and Zelda and Splatoon. You're like, yeah, I'm a Nintendo fan, but have you ever played Fire Emblem? No, I haven't. So give that a try. Oh, yeah. Fire Emblem is actually pretty cool, and that's within Nintendo, and that's how diverse Nintendo is, right? Oh, I'm a Nintendo fan. Have you ever played Punch-Out? Not to say that all of these games are good, but they're just different types of good under one umbrella, which is Nintendo. Well, indies is kind of like that, but from a different perspective. Do you like video games? Well, indies occupy first-person shooter genre, so you could get a first-person shooter that's an indie game. Last year we showed off I forgot the name of it at the moment, but it was the figure shooting game.
Yeah.
At Indie Mania. So there you have that. And then you like, I like platformers and Banjo-Kazooie and Mario. Ruffy in the Riverside. Oh, I like Metroidvanias. Like, I enjoy Castlevania and stuff like that. Ghost Song. Terrific Metroidvania game. I like Animal Crossing. Well, guess what? There are plenty of indie games that are farming kind of sims and town building and stuff like that. So, maybe there are some genres that aren't as prevalent in indie titles because maybe they're a little bit more grand, but like you will find something from every genre. Just some might be a little bit fewer and farther between, but yeah, don't omit it just because it's not a $80 million budget title. You'll still find stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and so I'm telling you guys, indie. The reason why I've fallen in love with indie games so much is because that's where games are. That's where people have enough freedom to create something new. Like look at that mechanic on Roughing Riverside, right? With the
Mhm.
copy and paste and the swapping and everything. Who knew that that could be a mechanic that could carry an entire game and can be so much fun, right? And so sometimes we get used to the same exact mechanics over and over again because we love a character, we grow up with it, right? It's nostalgia brings us closer to the games we love. But hey, don't close yourself to learning to fall in love again with new titles, especially in the indie industry. Like I said, once I come back from the month break, my channel is no longer just a Nintendo channel. I've told you guys this is it's a Nintendo and indie game channel, and so I'm gonna recommend you. I have a video that I'm making, the top 10 games that look like your favorite game. So I'm gonna find the Mario alternative to your favorite game in the indie world. I'm gonna find the Zelda alternative, and I have a couple already. I have the list already. I have the alternative to Pokemon, not Pal World. It's not Pal World, but even if it's Pal World, it's still out there, right? And so there is a game for everyone out there in the indie sphere, and so I think we should, we should kind of go out there and support these developers. Because let me tell you something, and this might shock you. Don't you? Well, first, let me ask you this question: don't you get upset when you hear about all these layoffs, right? Let's say Microsoft buys his studio and nothing happens with this studio, and all of a sudden you hear, oh, they all got laid off. What happened? They just got bought. Why? You know where they end up, right? Indie world. They end up becoming indie developers because they end up opening their own studios. They take their futures into their own hands. And so think about that when you think about indies. Think about all of these developers who were laid off from their jobs in the last couple of years, who have decided to not quit and say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take this future into my own hand. I got talent. I got friends. Let's get together and let's make something happen. Right. And so think about that. When you think about indie world, think about where that developer came from. Don't think about just the game. Look at the game, try to fall in love with the game, but think about that story behind that game, and which is very important when it comes to indies. So yeah, let's go ahead and move over to our last topic of the day, because there is like we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening, and in the rumor mill. I don't know if the initial rumor was for the indie world because nobody mentioned indie world. They only mentioned Nintendo Direct showcase, right? And then we just got an indie world, right? And so apparently the main rumor out there is that there are multiple directs, right? We were all expecting something in September, but we can't rule out that maybe Nintendo's doing a back to back. We had a direct show for a partner, right? We have an indie world, and what's next? A direct, an actual direct. And so hopefully we get that soon, which leads to our next topic of the day: Nintendo Direct. What's happening? What's Nintendo doing? And why are they playing with our hearts and our minds and our beings? All right. Well, September. Okay, that's not it. Confirm. All right. Let's see here. All right, so rumors suggest that the September event could focus on 2025 games without specific release dates, such as Metroid Prime 4, right? We got it only has a 2025 date for Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. Kirby Air Riders for Switch 2 for 2025. I'm gonna say it. Hollow Knight Silksong. I said it. All right, relax. I mentioned it. We got Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, right? That one was also. Does anybody know there's any updates on that? No date yet, right? Just that it's coming to Switch, but no date yet on Final Fantasy. I think Paul mentioned it earlier in the podcast.
No release date.
Okay. Here's the list for Gamescom is Metroid Prime, Pokemon, Silksong, Hades 2, Elden Ring, Borderlands 4, Final Fantasy, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, Mario Party, Jamboree TV, FC26, and Cyberpunk. These will, from my understanding, all be playable at Gamescom, which my assumption, if that's the case, good chance these could be playable at PAX West also.
Okay, so but we've already played Metroid Prime 4 at the Nintendo experience. So it could be that same trailer. That same
Maybe the
that
same
little
same demo for sure.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I think the interesting ones here: Pokemon ZA, Silk Song, Hades, Elden Ring, Borderlands, Final Fantasy, and the soccer, the FC26.
Okay.
Those are all going to be demoed.
All right. And so
5 months later, though, for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, it would be pretty cool if it was a new demo, but
Yeah.
or
Yep.
the same demo, but giving this audience the chance to play it in 4K, because at the Nintendo Switch 2 experience, it was locked at you are playing the 1080p 120 frames per second version, not the 4K 60 frames per second version.
yeah.
So just to see that would be a neat enough of a difference,
Mhm.
maybe.
Yeah. And so thank you Josh for that list. Super helpful.
You bet.
And so that begs the question, right? Before the West, what do you call that again? I'm having a brain fart.
PAX West.
PAX West, yeah.
Yeah.
Before PAX West, before Gamescom, meaning we should hear something from Nintendo on those titles. Hopefully, and then of course having those demos out available at PAX West and at Gamescom. So the question is for the cast, what is Nintendo thinking? And of course, now we can't rule out another part. There's another rumor here. We mentioned it, of another direct. So we're talking about a main direct and then another direct. Okay. So that other direct is rumored to either be Mario related, the Mario 40th anniversary, right? And so I'm not sure if they'll take the direct and put them together and just make an hour direct. It's 40 minutes long, maybe like 50 minutes, and then just kind of give Mario part of it, or just do a 20-minute direct for the whatever they need to release, like the release dates and all that stuff, just updates, and then Mario after that. And so we still have the Mario movie, which is coming out in less than a year, and we have not seen anything on that yet. So my question for the crew is, what do you think Nintendo's doing, and why are they holding back so many announcements so close to their release date, right? What do you think, Well?
Every week I am equally puzzled when it comes to Metroid, because that's the one that tells me that's the one that speaks to me the strongest of, like, why not in so long, unless if they don't, gosh, I don't know. I come up with different scenarios, and like another one that I'm coming up on the fly is it's so big that they don't want to draw too much attention to it yet, because they don't want too many people excited for it and be passing up on the games coming out now because people have, a limited budget. But you could say that with anything, although sometimes if somebody knows a date, as much as it might help some feel secure of that date, for others it could be, now I'm going to not get anything until then. But I don't know. There's a lot of oddness. I think in general, though, they haven't done dates yet, kind of for that reason. Let what's out now sell, and then have more to talk about later. Don't blow everything out right now, because then you would have to have something new at each direct to get people to talk. Instead, you need less new. Instead, an update satisfies the new. If you know what I'm saying? Like, if you originally said, here's when Kirby Air Riders is coming out, here's when Metroid Prime 4 is coming out, here's when Splatoon Raiders is coming out, here's when Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is coming out, here's when Duskbloods is coming out. If you already gave the release dates for those, the only thing to satisfy people at an upcoming direct would be new games. Or maybe a trailer, but some people would turn their nose to the trailer and be like, I've already seen Metroid Prime Next. What's the next thing? Do you watch the directs because it's your entertainment, or because you want to see what are you going to buy soon? This way, by only giving a little droplet of information at the big Nintendo Direct that they had. What is new doesn't have to be new games. Instead, what's new is having the release dates for the aforementioned titles. So it still feels like it's more significant by staggering out initial reveal, and then we didn't show you gameplay footage of Kirby Air Riders. So when we show you Kirby Air Riders next time, it counts as new because the next time we see it, we're getting gameplay and release date. So you got 2 entertaining dates worth of presentations from that one title without having to come up with a second new game. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope I'm speaking clearly enough, because I'm trying to process all of it and say it live at once. But I think that's a part of it, is milking what you can out of your announcements, because you do know internally, even though they've got projects that we don't even know about, they've got to be very mindful of how much they give, when they give it, how often do they give it throughout the year, so they can maximize the entertainment cycle, the talk cycle, and people's money, their budget, proper spacing in between their big games, and letting third parties shine. So I think it's probably something around that. I don't know if I have the complete answer, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of what I said is their reasoning for why they've been a little coy on release dates. And maybe some of what I said resonates with Metroid Prime. It's just that one is the kind of weird one for me because it's been so long. And then the other part of me is like, maybe there's something else that we don't know about, you know, from like a Call of Duty, a Halo, or something like that, that could be, you know, competing with Metroid. So there's some talks of the game is almost done. We could release it here, but we do know that our third-party partners have something similar. Like, what if there's a big Call of Duty planned for November 15th on Nintendo Switch 2, which is going to have a big multiplayer campaign? And what if Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, one of its big hooks is an online multiplayer campaign that's like Splatoon, but for the T-rated audience? Not that Splatoon can't be played by more people, but it's a little bit more kid-friendly. And Metroid Prime has a big thing. And Nintendo is looking at, well, how much do we show early? What do we announce? How about the date? Because we don't want Call of Duty multiplayer mode to be competing against our own Metroid Prime, and vice versa. Like, there's things like that we don't know. Then you get into speculation territory, but hey, that's why we're here, to kind of speculate.
Yeah, of course.
Lots of different possibilities, because you wouldn't want one thing to overshadow the other, especially if like you're going all out with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond with as many years development cycle, and you got to expect that game's costing more to develop, not just because it's been in development for so long, but it's also a US based studio, and Retro Studios being a Texas developer, their wages, I imagine, based off of area living and stuff like that, could be more than what they pay the variety of staff in Donkey Kong Bonanza, you know, in Kyoto. I don't know all of the details for sure, but I'm theorizing that you know, U.S. staff in Retro in Texas could be getting more per individual working on the title for this sound, for this art, etc. Bringing in lots of different developers from all sorts of different, you know, Western studios than in Japan. I mean, just look at like how much does Mr. Miyamoto make a year? How much did Satoru Iwata make a year? How much is, you know, these different, you know, Japanese men, women, individuals that are making these amazing games for Nintendo, billion-dollar games, and you look at the salary for those folks versus, you know, president of EA, of Activision, of like, it's mind-boggling different. Like, some people are getting $20 million bonuses, and here you got Mr. Miyamoto making a couple $1 million a year. You know, anyways, I kind of went off on that side, but yeah, Metroid, it's coming. Plenty of other titles are on the way, but I guess that's my best bet of why they just haven't blown over, revealed, here's all the dates. It's to maximize how many times you get to talk about it while still keeping it new. Don't give too much at once.
Yeah. So let me throw this question out there. There's a backlash with the pricing of video games, right? At the beginning of the last month, actually 2 months ago. It's not that long ago. It feels like forever, but Nintendo Switch has only been out for 2 months, right? And why are we so impatient? It's only been out for 2 months, and so we're used to seeing games planned out a year ahead, right? So do you think that maybe Metroid Prime 4 was priced kind of like Mario Kart? It was priced up there. They saw the backlash. They're like, okay, we have to regroup because Metroid is not as big of a franchise as Mario Kart is or as Mario. And if we put a price that's up there, that game we might not, we might do more harm to it than push the game.
Yeah.
And maybe that is why they're just regrouping. They're not gonna they're just kind of like, okay, let's plan this better. Let's make sure. Let's see how what happens with world situations, tariff stuff. If it gets any better, let's try to wait till the very end to see if we have any choice. If we have a choice, and if we have to price it at a certain price, if we can wait till the very moment, to see if something happens, so that we can maybe drop the price to make sure that if we have to drop the price, we can. Do you think price has to do anything with it? Josh, I'll give it to you while still answering the same question that Paul just answered. Like, what do you think Nintendo's waiting so much for, and do you think price point there has something to do with it?
The price may, because I imagine it's going to have two SKUs with two different prices. You're going to have probably the $70 Switch 2 SKU and the $60, well, maybe the $80 Switch 2 SKU and the $70 Switch 1 SKU potentially, since we know it is getting like it's getting the upgrade that like Zelda and Kirby and Mario Party Jamboree. I say that with quotes. I think, when you look, there's been a big game on the Switch 2 every week, right? Maybe there's been like what week 8? Maybe it's every other week there's a big game, but like Donkey Kong being a first party, wrestling, we got Madden kind of this week, but it was number 2 in the eShop at $100.
Crazy,
right? So I don't know that price is. I feel like outside of the vocal minority, people are just there. It's just like everything else. Everything's going up in price. It's
well, then again, the Madden fans are a different type of culture. They're a
different beasts. Yeah. So
beasts. Yeah, they'll pay for their Madden. They'll pay whatever they have to pay.
Right. Yeah. So, but number 2 on the eShop for a third party, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And on that top 15, you have Cyberpunk, you have that wrestling game, the 2K, and Tony Hawk, I believe. So they want to see what these third parties can do. I would be willing to bet that there's hardcore Madden fans out there that bought a Switch 2 to play Madden. It's probably moving consoles.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. You're right.
And so, because it gives for anybody that's like a hardcore Madden fan and maybe they've got a train commute or something like that, they can be practicing like on that hour commute, then get home and jump on their main console. Like, I think it's about third parties. There's been all that speculation about, well, maybe Metroid Prime is getting delayed, and I don't think so. I think when you look at these drops, like, these are not small drops. Like Tony Hawk's not a small drop. 2K, the wrestling game, not a small drop. Madden, not a small drop. And we're getting them day and date with the other consoles, and it's awesome. It's awesome. We've also got new content on like Street Fighter 6 that dropped this week.
Yeah.
So, like there's an ape. Bazers is saying Apex Legend. Yeah. Like that got the update too. So like, I feel like what has happened ultimately is Nintendo fans don't know how to deal with the healthy Nintendo. And we have to remember how far on their heels they were when the Switch 1 came out. They were coming off of a major failure with the Wii U and a decent run with the 3DS, but not by any means as good of a run as the DS. And it was make it or break it time. So I think in a way they may have set somewhat of a precedent that people assume that, yo, we're going to be getting these. Well, guess what? We're still on track. We got Mario Kart the first month and we got Donkey Kong Bonanza the second month. And so and they're pushing updates in between, which I mean, Mario Party was unfortunately it fell pretty flat for what it was, but I have hopes for Kirby. I'm excited to get back into that. We've also got like a Nintendo indie with Dragon Drive, which I have zero interest in. I'm just going to be completely honest. I may download the demo and give it a shot, but it's not I just don't want to play a game on my thighs. You know what I mean?
Your
And
thighs.
you know what I'm like
On
on
a table, yeah, like on a table or on your desk.
yeah, like it doesn't really do much for me as far as I'm not a big gimmick like the Wii. I struggled with the Wii because I didn't like doing the motion controls and stuff. So I think what we're seeing is like we're seeing Nintendo giving room to these third parties. And when you see something like Madden being number 2, well, then you can probably expect Madden next year, and maybe it can get better optimized, and maybe they'll understand the Switch 2 better, and that can improve. So I think it just boils down to like somewhat like we have to be patient, even though we don't like it as gamers. And when it comes to Nintendo content, we consume it quick. Look at how fast everybody beat Mario Wonder. Look at how fast we beat Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like you almost need. If I was Nintendo going forward, the next time I launch a console, I would make sure it's launching. Like Tears of the Kingdom should have launched with this console, and the conversations would be entirely different because everybody's trying to get 120 hours into that game. You know what I mean? Like we'd finally be wrapping up on it. And as much as I love Mario Kart, I don't know that it is doing is that people love it as much as they did 8 Deluxe. So that's another factor as well, where people are like, I'm ready for the next thing. Like they got through Mario Kart, and I will be the first to say they left out modes that kind of made them drop the ball to a certain extent. Mario Kart World is peak when we can do 3-lap racing, and they made that difficult. And life will find a way. You can jump in Discords and do that stuff, but it's not the ideal way to play. And I think everybody wants to just be able to jump online and play the game the way they want to play it. You can't do that. And that's a bit damaging. But I think overall, like it seems like everything is going incredibly well. Record numbers with sales. Mario Kart install rate is almost every Switch. Granted, it was basically a pack-in title, but there were still plenty of people having to get the Switch by itself and then buy the physical after the fact, because that's pretty much what you were getting at launch. So
I did.
Yeah, I did as well. And so the upcoming Direct, I can only assume it's going to be more Mario related.
Yeah.
And that we're going to see from the app and Twitter these other games getting dates, and like I think Madden got the tweet, but it wasn't like they haven't been like pushing the third party stuff. Like I don't even think they push the third party stuff on their app. It's mostly first party.
Yeah.
And maybe exclusively first party. So like we may just have to, I think it's just going to be a bit of an adjustment. And it's like, it is only 2 months in. So like as much as we all want dates, we all want this information. I think Nintendo's holding back so that we focus on what's coming out now. And it's not just like, oh, wait, I can pre-order this right now. I'm going to put my money there. They're like, well, Tony Hawk came out, so you could put your money there and be playing something right now. So I don't know. I'm honestly enjoying just gaming in general and playing so many different things, utilizing indies, utilizing these third-party games, playing Mario Kart. Like I'm I'm loving this launch. I think it's incredible. That's not the case for everybody. I get it. And believe me, I'm like chomping at the bit to play Metroid. I love Metroid Prime games. I cannot wait for 4. But there's plenty to play up until that, and especially this week after here, if that game has the tiniest frame drop, then that's what everybody's gonna focus on. So let them cook, so that thing can come out just perfect, and it can be the must play title on Switch 2
Yeah.
in its window. And uh, it's tough. We don't have Zelda. We don't have the exact launch cycle of the Switch 1, and I think that's like the Animal Crossing community, super hungry for that game.
Yeah.
Smash community, like there's all these different communities that all bleed over into each other. That like we want to know when these things are coming, but we can know that they are. If they're in the top 10 list, there's a new game in the works.
Yeah.
In one way or another. So you just gotta play what's here. Have some fun.
What I'm saying is that this is only month number 2 of the Nintendo Switch 2 being out, and okay, so I'm scrolling here. My mind is just going nuts. This is like all these games here. Okay, these rows right here. This is all launch titles that were available on launch day. Okay, all these titles here, launch day titles. All these right here. I'm still scrolling. Launch day titles. Still launch day titles, okay, and then still launch day titles up here. Then up here is when we get on the very next week or the 19th, and again these all games that have been coming to Nintendo Switch 2 in the last 2 months. Insane amount of games coming to Switch 2. Right, and right here, this is where the pre-order line begins, and look how many games we have coming for Nintendo Switch here. We have 8 games on the way to Nintendo Switch. Right? Wait, I thought Matter was out already. Is it out?
It's out next week unless you buy the $100 version.
Okay, that's why that's when I just downloaded. They didn't give me the $100 version. Come on, people. They get I have to wait to play it. Come on, EA. And this goes back to what I mentioned. Remember the question from last week on the podcast, and I mentioned just this. I said, "Is Nintendo?" I like how you put it. This is a healthy Nintendo. The Nintendo from 2017 had The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and what was the other one, Paul? The other launch title. Is it arms or legs or thighs?
Arms came out a little bit. Arms came out a couple of months after Nintendo Switch 2. The 1-2 Switch and Breath of the Wild.
So compared to this year, compared to 2 months in now, and then 2 months in for Nintendo Switch. I mean, look at this, night and day. And so the question that I brought up last podcast was, now that we have, I mean, Hogwarts Legacy, Street Fighter 6, Yakuza, Cyberpunk, Split Fiction, big titles that are available on current gen systems, on the current gen system that couldn't make it to Nintendo Switch when like when it comes to the video games in the entire industry, Nintendo was in its own little corner, and Nintendo was huffing and puffing trying to fill it each year with the first party title, because it was hard to get third party developers to come to Switch, right? And so I'm guessing that the reason why we got a game every single month of the Nintendo Switch for 7 years is because Nintendo was huffing and puffing trying to make sure that the Switch had titles to play. With Switch 2, they don't have that issue. They don't have to launch a title every single month when we have these amazing, crazy titles coming to Nintendo Switch. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, WWE 2K25, Madden. Madden is a huge title. Like Josh said, this is a system seller. Madden is a huge franchise, and I like Dragon's Drive. I enjoyed it at the Switch 2 experience. Borderlands 4, Pokemon Legends ZA, EA Sports 26. Although EA is really good at bringing games to Switch, but they don't have that problem anymore. Like they don't have that scarcity of games anymore, and where Nintendo needs to jump in and fill in every single month of the calendar to make sure that there's a title, for everyone. There is a title now for everyone, and I think that we're seeing it now. We're seeing it now. It's only month number two, right? So we kind of sometimes have to kind of think about, wait a minute, it's only August 8th, like 3 days ago, we celebrated the 2-month anniversary of the Switch. And that's it. So we have to kind of slow down, and just like Josh said, look at what we have, find games, start playing, indie games are also out there on Nintendo Switch. And man, I mean, I think the future is bright for Nintendo Switch too. It is super, super bright. In regards to Metro Prime 4, I'm like Paul, speechless. No clue what's going on there, because it is unheard of. Let's say Nintendo does decide to drop that game off. It's not going to be October. That's Pokemon month, right? September is the month that's open, which I see Kirby Air Riders in September for some reason. Kirby Air Riders. Then we have November is the only other month that is fully open before the holiday season. I don't see Metroid coming out in Christmas with Santa Claus, right? Right? I don't see Metroid coming out in Christmas. That's not a Christmas game.
No.
And what if they do? What if they do delay it a couple of months? That's not the worst thing. Better to get fully cooked game, right? Like Josh said, make sure the game is fully made. Because it's true. It's true. People complain about a game not coming out in time, but then if it comes out too soon and one frame rate is off, you'll see first thing Digital Foundry talk about 20 minutes for that, about that one frame rate, and then everybody else will pick up that one frame rate and just to say, hey, that game is not running at all. So it's crazy that we have nothing yet on Metro Prime 4. But I don't think it's that crazy. I think we're doing pretty well with the launch titles we have now. Now the next question is, and the last question, we're about to end the podcast now, is Mario. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to talk about Mario. What are you guys seeing for the Mario at 40th anniversary? Paul, what do you think is happening? Mario 40th.
Thanks for letting me get this one first, since I gotta roll after this.
Yeah,
so,
we're ending the podcast right now after this one.
here is my ideal Super Mario Brothers 40th anniversary Nintendo Direct. Nintendo kicks off, and on screen they have an announcement for Super Mario World, the movie, confirming that the following cast members are coming back to reprise their roles: Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Jack Black, Seth Rogen, and our beloved Charles Martinet, also set to reappear, including a couple of new actors. And then on stage comes Adam Sandler as Wario and Waluigi. Someone else shows up.
Adam Sandler.
Something crazy, unexpected. What? And that's what they do. And they give us a first look at the logo or a poster or a 15-second clip, something like that. Stay tuned for more later. But they kick it off with a really cool Super Mario World movie tease, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we start off with. Then we get into, at the popular request of many, we're going to give you an update on Super Mario Brothers 35, now Super Mario Brothers 40. And it is that old NSO title from 5 years ago, but now it's done in 40 style and a couple of different visual aesthetics to differentiate it. Boom. Next up is something that's coming out this fall, and it is a compilation package of Super Mario Galaxy 2 Remastered, Super Mario 64 DS Edition HD, and Super Mario 3D Land HD. This Super Mario All-Stars 2 will be available for Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 for a limited time. For 1 year. For 1 year. This means that you are
It does
limiting the potential of Nintendo Switch 2 people that could buy it. But if you buy it on Nintendo Switch, you will get the Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade for free. So this is how you still get it to sell 10 million copies when there aren't even 10 million Nintendo Switch 2 owners out there, because the game is on Nintendo Switch also. So plenty of people will buy it also because they know, shoot, that old one eventually sold out and it was no longer available on eShop. And even though you could still go to a Target like 3 months later and find it, eventually those two were sold out. And then you got to go to GameStop to pay $100 for it or something. Also, we are proud to bring back, once again, for a limited time, Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which is the one from 5 years ago. But now that one will also have a Nintendo Switch 2 edition, in which the 3 games, being Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy, will have 4K upgrades when played on Nintendo Switch 2, with Super Mario 64 having an optional 16:9 mode, which was not in the original version, of course, nor was it in the 3D All-Stars compilation. But that is what you're going to get on Nintendo Switch 2. I want this to come out because I want that game to be one more 10 million seller. It was like 50,000 copies away, or 500,000.
Wow.
I think 500,000 away. No, maybe, no, it was less. I forgot. It was close. I'm like, dude, come on. I want another 10 million seller. So that's that. Both coming out this fall. And then finally, oh no, my final is one more thing. Next up is a look at what we're doing with our partners in the coming year. And they show off a little bit of a tease of a new Mario Lego collaboration. And they show off another little tease of a Mario and Levi's jeans collaboration. And then finally, we have one more thing to show you. Please enjoy. And it's our next big Super Mario adventure. And we see Mario running through the Mushroom Kingdom. It looks awesome. And then Mario reaches out for like this glowing orb, and he gets transported into outer space. And he's in a cockpit, and it's really weird. And he looks over, and to his left, looking right, is Fox McCloud. And then we see gameplay, and it's Mario in an R-Wing flying along Star Fox. What the heck is going on here? And then that's all we see. And then Mario lands back into the Mushroom Kingdom, and he's like, whoa, well, how did I get here again? Like, okay. And he's reaching out for another orb, and it transports him to a different green background. And all you see is a Master Sword, shink, going down, and then the trailer ends. And then the title comes up, Super Mario Universe. Yes, Nintendo figureheads come back on stage. We showed you the first look at Super Mario Universe. What you can expect from this title releasing in the holiday of 2026 is Mario going to Nintendo universes never seen before. Please stay tuned more for a future update. And it's just the coolest thing ever. Like Mario, the main mascot, the main guy. He's a doctor. He's an athlete. He's a plumber. He's a go-kart racer. He's a martial artist. He's in everything, but now he's also going into other Nintendo worlds. And this game, Super Mario Universe, is really the expansion of Galaxy and Odyssey, because he's taking multiple gameplay elements, and this is going to be Nintendo's way how to blow up Star Fox and blow up Punch-Out and blow up Metroid and blow up Fire Emblem and blow up everything that they want to do, Ice Climbers, by having him join in with all these characters, uniting the Nintendo universe together into one freaking amazing platformer, but
Avengers
elements also, on-rail shooting and going alongside Link with some kind of weird adventure in Hyrule, like fragments, kind of like how Galaxy had bite-sized planets.
Yeah,
this would have bite-sized worlds of these Nintendo games that we love so much. And that is my ideal Nintendo Super Mario Brothers 40th anniversary direct, where you started with a movie, you ended with a game, and you got some little things between. Boom! Crazy, far-fetched, yeah. But you want to ask me my ideal? That's the idea, man.
we're gonna revisit this again, guys, because I want to hear that pitch from Paul again when we do that.
You take this little 5-minute monologue, and you when they show off the final direct, we see how close was it.
Yeah. So Mario 4th anniversary is nuts. Paulo, go ahead and let people know where they can find you and what you
Yes,
got going on this week.
I have to roll. I'll still try to be in the chat, but I gotta head out. But yeah, I am at Paul Gale Network, usually on X and on YouTube, talking video game stuff, covering some sales once in a while, countdowns occasionally. Nothing going on right now in that regard. Some martial arts, and yeah, that's about it.
That's awesome.
There is one question before I go. School returning this week. Okay, well, I'll say it the proper way, if you don't mind. Cryptic with a $4.99 super chat says, asked this question last week, but for Josh and Paul, school returning this week. What is a game so far you are telling your friends about on the blacktop? If I were a student right now, I would be talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza and how much fun I had with it in the summer, and Split Fiction, even though for some people it was a March game. For me, it was a June game that I ended up beating after Bonanza. But those two games are like my games of the summer in terms of talking about. All right. I'll see you guys later. Josh, Mike, chat. Have a great one.
Take it easy, brother.
Bye.
Right, take care.
Bye.
Yeah,
All right,
I think for Cryptic's question here, the big ones are going to be Mario Kart and Bonanza for sure.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you are playing the Switch 2. Like those are going to be the talk of the town for sure. And I know that firsthand because like I had to peel the controller out of a 3-year-old's hands tonight before she got picked up by her dad. She was like, she's like, can we play Donkey Kong? I'll be Pauline. I'm like, no, you get to be Donkey Kong. Like,
That's adorable.
Yeah, so I know kids are loving Donkey Kong for sure. So
definitely. Yeah, Pokemon Fan 34 is celebrating 8 months as a member. Thank you so much for your support over the years. Awesome. You are awesome, Pokemon Fan 34. She was 33, and now she's 34. All right, so with that, give me your pitch for Mario anniversary, and right after your pitch ends, you can go ahead and tell people where they can find you.
The thing that I really foresee happening is Mario Wonder getting the Switch 2 update and being able to play Super Mario Brothers in the Wonder style with Wonder Worlds. That's still, I'm like, what are they waiting for? What are they waiting for?
Right there.
I think if I know the rumor's been flying around about a new Super Mario Brothers 3D or a new Super Mario Bros. All-Stars game. They've been going back and forth with that, and that would be super cool. Because
it'll be okay, it'll be all right.
Well, there's one particular reason. There are many games on New Super Mario Brothers that so many people have nostalgia for that there's like Luigi's Poker. There's a game called Wanted that I've played a ton on TikTok lives. I mean, my biggest stream ever was playing that Wanted game. Like 150,000 people came through and were just like, yo, this is my childhood, core memory unlocked, just like it's so that in and of itself right there would be I would love that for the literally thousands of people that have come through my stream and been like, where can I play this? I want to play this again. I'm like, well, you got to get a DS or, you could get it on Wii U. Yeah. It's on Wii U. The new Super Mario Bros. Wii, near and dear to my heart. I'd walk in the door from work and immediately have a Wii remote shoved in my hand for my daughters. Like, we got to play, so especially if they added online to that, I could play through that with them again, which would be super cool. So, and it's just I want to start seeing what DS and 3DS games are looking like from Nintendo on their consoles, So we start bridging that gap and getting those games on this system. Like Mario movie, I see is 1,000% that's happening. I wouldn't be surprised at all if there's a 3D All-Stars also. They re-release that, a Switch 2 version, maybe throw Galaxy 2 on there, and I hope they don't just lock it behind the Switch 2 version for the sake of all those Switch owners that want to play Galaxy 2 and don't have the Switch 2 just yet. Uh,
Yeah,
I,
Galaxy
I'm
2. Yeah, it looks like more like a Switch game that could be also played on Switch too.
yeah,
Uh,
and maybe there's a a $10 price difference, something like that, if they have those upgrades, because I have seen video of Mario 64 running widescreen, and I'm talking like on one of those widescreen monitors at
Yeah.
120 frames a second, and
Mm.
that would be something else. That's like
Yeah.
playing a new game. That when if anybody jumped into Breath of the Wild with Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, yo, this is kind of like a new game. Like this is kind of like a new experience because it's so smooth, So
Mario Galaxy 2, making it to Nintendo Switch is already an upgrade.
Right.
There's gonna be already an update visually to Mario Odyssey 2. So
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, and I mean, again, probably partner stuff, who knows, Baskin and Robbins and Lego and all
come on,
those,
Baskin
like
Robbins.
like I think they've done Cold Stone in the past, there's
Yeah,
different ice cream shops,
yeah.
I'm sure there'll be Happy Meals with Mario's 40th, all the things. And so, or
I
at least
got
Mario
I got to have
movies.
the new
So
boxes.
nice.
I got the one from the Mario movie.
Yeah.
I just
So
order it. I throw the food away. I'm not kidding.
uh,
My daughter eats it.
and then outside of that, like if we do kind of go, like if they go left field potentially, and they do a 3D All Stars 2, maybe it is Mario Land from the
Mhm.
3DS, which again gets a 3DS game onto
Man, that will be
and then
fantastic.
Mario 64 DS, and then I think there was another 3D game. Oh, Sunshine. Or I'm sorry, not Sunshine, but Galaxy 2. That could give them 3 different 3D games to do
Mhm.
a 3D All Stars 2 if that's the route they wanted to go. So
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
yeah. So I mean, I think it's gonna be a killer celebration. I'm honestly really, really stoked to just see what they're gonna do. Especially, I have high expectations. A lot of times I keep my expectations pretty low for things, and just that allows me to get a little more excited.
Mhm.
They really kind of outdid themselves with Mario 35th, and I think that Mario 35 could make a return as Mario 40, and we
Yeah.
could play.
There's a
Maybe
there's a
we're
there's a patent already. There's a patent already.
oh perfect.
Yeah, the patent already shows the 40 and everything, like all the little 40 slots.
Oh, I
So
love it.
it's been
Yeah,
since last year. So that for sure is coming back.
yeah. So I can't wait for that. Hopefully, it's also like Super Mario 3 as well as one and three
Man,
at the
that would be
same time.
fantastic. That would be awesome.
So
Yeah.
because it's just so much fun. So and hopefully they do some like pin sets and all that kind of stuff again as well. Like it was just
Mhm.
overall, it was a really, really fun experience. And they know full well that Mario is going to cast a very large shadow over everything. And so I think I think the timing of everything and getting the third parties out ahead of time, letting some of this stuff just cook once Mario drops and they have a full year, like I have a feeling 2026 we're going to be eating really good, like
Yeah.
really good from not only first party but third party as well, and it's going to be expensive year on our wallets, So really
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah. I love it, man. Love it. So where can we find you? What you got going on this week?
Yeah, guys, I'm N64 Josh everywhere. I host the Nintendo Powercast, which is a pretty much a daily podcast, and we do like a gaming book club, which is like the NSO Game of the Week. We're doing Link to the Past this week. Mario Mondays. I'm streaming Mario Kart at 6 p.m. on Mondays and Mario Party on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want to get in some games like that, we would love to have you. Oh, Baser says Mario Maker 3. That would
Ooh,
be
I mean, that's a given.
yeah.
That's a given because I can't see any other Mario game that could take advantage of all the new features than Mario Maker 3. Mouse, mouse
Oh
features,
yeah.
the camera. I mean, there's so many things that could work with that.
Hmm.
I
For
love
sure.
it. I'm only gonna mention one thing because I know a lot of people expect Mario movie news, right? New games and stuff like that. Mario Galaxy 2. Video games, right? Mario 40th anniversary. First, I want to mention one thing. I did buy about 5 copies of the All Stars, right? 5 copies at the time. I gave away 4 on the channel. So I know if you guys were here, and I'm sure some of you have those copies. I kept one sealed. I can't find it.
No.
It's somewhere in this house. I have
Oh,
to
no.
I have to look for it everywhere. It's sealed because I double dip. I bought it digitally.
Yeah.
Alma has this. I still have my copy. I bought it digitally, and I also bought it physically for the giveaways, right? And I kept the copy physical, and I never opened it. And I'm like, man, where did I put that copy? And then you see the copy going up $200, $300. I'm like, come on, man, come on. and me with that, I'm like, come on, man, that's crazy. I'll find it somewhere. But
Fingers crossed.
my prediction for the Mars anniversary, okay, and I know it's the 40th anniversary of Mario, Super Mario Brothers, right? The NES.
Yeah.
And so this is not NES related. This is not gaming related, but I think it will be a very good honor to Mario for a comeback in this case. I predict that Nintendo will launch after the Mario movie launches, relaunch the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Oh,
Coming back
I like it.
on Peacock or whatever, like on
Yeah.
streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
And so an updated show of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, with I don't know who will play live action Mario and Luigi, and
Right.
and then they go into the cartoon or the animated, because it can be 3D animated, who knows. But I believe either that or like a pack, like an anniversary pack, including all the entire series for the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Something related to that, something media outside of gaming.
Well, the end of this month, they're launching a new Mario app for young kids.
I saw that.
Mario
saw that.
wooden blocks and Mario related books, like little kids books. So a cartoon kind of falls in line with with that.
Yeah. And so that's basically it. That's the whole kit and caboodle. All right, friends, that is the podcast. I'm sorry today we won't have a Q&A. As you could tell, my site is not doing great today. But today, I promise that next Friday we will I'll add 10 minutes to the Q&A, and then I'll stay extra time with you guys in the podcast, so that hang out. Maybe we'll just do a little impromptu after podcast Mario Kart with if Josh wants to stay over, we'll play Mario Kart after the podcast a little bit. But yeah. And so another thing I wanted to mention, I want to give a huge thank you to, I was going to say his last name, Hayes, because I don't want to give out his full name, but I did open a Patreon over the week. I've never had a Patreon before. They've asked me to open a Patreon, and I just had to say something. I had $100 donation. I'm like, what? How? I'm just grateful. Thank you so much for your donation. Patreon is open right now. I'm going to let you guys tell me what you want me to do for you on the Patreon, whether it's a podcast, whether it's like just like a podcast for Patreons, whatever you guys want. It's available there. You guys already know I have to cancel my PAX West trip just because I lost all the revenue on the channel. I have the media pass already. They're emailing me daily because they want to do a giveaway for PAX West on the channel, but I'm not going. I'm not going to PAX West just because I had to cancel the trip. But again, Patreon is there if you guys want to support the channel on Patreon as well. That's just another option, because I know there's YouTube memberships here because you can become a member of the channel. But you can also join Patreon, because I know a lot of people that say, "Oh, do you have a Patreon?" Because we don't like to do YouTube. YouTube takes too much of a big cut or whatever, and we rather do Patreon. So Patreon is available If you go to Patreon, just search for Mike Odyssey, and I'll be there as well. So thank you guys. I want to thank you for donating that much to the channel, and I appreciate you more than you know. You keep me going. Because trust me, it's not easy after relying on your channel, growing your channel to a point where it becomes financially liable, like it sustains itself, right? And then all of a sudden, literally in a matter of weeks, it's losing everything, completely losing everything. And then I can't make reviews anymore. I can't buy games because the channel paid for the games, right? And I can't take money out of my house to pay for games. I told my wife, look, I will never take money from our household to pay for anything related for video games. The channel will sustain itself, but I can't do that anymore for now until we get over this thing. So I really appreciate your support. And with those $100, I can buy 2 games. To get back on my feet slowly but surely. And I guess, like I said, if you're never presented with the opportunity to live by your motto, then what's the point of having one, right? What's the point of having a motto, never give up and journey on, if life never throws you any opportunities to prove that? And so with that, my friends, thank you so much. You guys have been more than amazing. Love you all. This has been the Topic Podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one. Before we let you go, by the way, Joycey J, you can find her, Joycey J, at DJ Joycey at Twitter. Okay, ask her anything Zelda related as well, and she'll be with us next week on the podcast. Thank you guys much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Let me go ahead and try to find the end stream here.
David, I'm streaming tomorrow. I saw your question. I'll be live tomorrow.
Yeah. David, he's streaming tomorrow. Bye. That outro is too long. Let me get the other one. There you go. One.